Shalom, what's good everybody? I hope you're all well. I want to thank all of the new subscribers and everyone who's engaging with the channel and the content. Thank you for all the likes, shares, comments, the views. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to leverage, move this ministry forward. So thank you so much for your time to come and watch the channels on this video. It's my intention that I allow each and everyone watching to have major breakthroughs in their prayer life, major breakthroughs in their healing and deliverance. I'm sharing the breakthroughs that I'm on my own healing and deliverance journey, and I'm sharing the breakthroughs as they come up. So the Lord reveals things to me, and then I make a point of making a video about it. So this video is about, I wanted to share a prayer testimony of my praying in tongues and fasting for about 2-3 months, but I was fasting 2-3 days a week. So God had grace to let me, he said 21 days to break the python spirit off me and get delivered of like many other things. I think there was octopus spirit, python spirit, spirits of confusion, a couple other things that were had latched onto me, either from the New Age and the occult or certain people I was unequally yoked with or doing deliverance with. So God gave me the clarity to do 21 days fasting. Had enough grace to let me do that 2-3 day bursts a week, and I've started implementing that now every week, 2-3 days of fasting a week. And I want to encourage you guys to start to do this as well, because the thing is, how is it possible for us to actually get healed and delivered if it's taking me, and I mean, I've done a lot of fasting and a lot of prayer, and I'm still going through healing and deliverance myself. So if I've done like months and months of fasting and prayer, and listened to many deliverances and read loads of books on deliverance and had a lot of deliverance, I've had a lot of manifestations of the foul smell and body jolting, and things have come up and I've been delivered of many things, but I'm still going through that. So if I've done a lot of that, and then like I'm now come to the realization, okay, 2-3 days a week fasting and praying in tongues regularly, and also using my drum as well, worship prayer and deliverance, and tearing down the strongholds regularly, listening to deliverance prayers, then really I'm encouraging you guys to do the same, because you're going to see a major difference in just your whole walk with God is just going to change. So I was battling a python spirit. There was a lot of marine spirits, perhaps spirit spouses that come from past relationships with Jezebels. When I was involved in the world, I had a lot of unequal yokes that was breaking off. And God's given me the clarity and revelation and breakthrough through fasting. And you always get this from fasting and praying regularly. So I'm encouraging you guys to start praying, for a couple hours a day on your fast. Obviously a fast without prayer is a wasted fast, praying in tongues, and God is going to heal you and deliver you. Make sure that if you're fasting the 2-3 days a week, that you're listening to deliverance prayers regularly. You're reading the word, you're worshiping, you're praying in tongues. God's going to see you through, because fasting's an act of humility. When we humble ourselves, remember, God gives grace to the humble and resists the proud. So when you're saying to God, you know what, I'm actually going to dedicate 2-3 days of my week, every week, to you, to fast and read the word and pray, spend hours in God's presence, he's going to come and reach you where you're at and come and give you those breakthroughs, those divine downloads of information. So what happened when I was doing the fast 2-3 days a week? So God originally had me on night vigil, which is basically when you're praying intercessory prayers at night. I was doing that for like 2-3 hours a night the first 3 weeks. I was trying to do that when I was on a fast. If I was too weak and I couldn't go out and do that and pray from the beach, I'd have a bit of bite to eat, give myself some energy to know that I had energy to go out, be able to go to where I need to go and come back and not fall over and faint, So that happened, I'd done that, and then when I came back and see my family after not seeing my family in a few months, there was a massive ambience of peace in the home. I managed to get my mother and father to sit with me and do Holy Communion prayers which is a miracle really, especially my father being narcissistic, very narcissistic person. And there was just a general different ambience in the home. But this is from praying 2-3 hours a night, 3-4 days a week. Throughout the week I was praying and fast and doing the 2-3 days of fasting and listening to deliverance prayers, but I was praying all the time, praying, you know, 2-3 hours a night, and then I was praying and listening to worship music throughout the day, and it made a massive rift in the energy and ambience of my family. Like, it was very different when I come home. My father was different, you know, he was doing the Holy Communion with us and stuff. So prayer really does work, people, but you have to do it, you know, have to dedicate to actually doing it. That's where the breakthrough is. Really and truly, yeah, reading the word's great. You can do that all day long. You know, you can get tiny bits of scripture and that, but if you're not fasting and you're not praying regularly, you're not tearing down strongholds, you're not having breakthroughs come to you. So God gave me that was one of the breakthroughs. He gave me a breakthrough in my deliverance, told me that I need to break generational curses. He gave me loads of books that I'm going to do a review on coming up, so keep an eye out for the upcoming content. It's going to be some great content coming on the channel that's going to give you guys all a major breakthrough. So lots of deliverance, lots of healing, lots of revelation, lots of breakthroughs, you know, a peace within my family, which was normally pretty chaotic and narcissistic. Massive breakthroughs. But, you know, I was praying a lot. Throughout this time I was praying for many hours and worshipping, and throughout the day and night. And so my encouragement is that you do 2-3 days a week, and we're just going to give you the 2-3 day a week method. So if you haven't done any fasting at all, and you're one of them people, you're a bit like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to start this, you know, and you're a bit weary on starting, like going a day without food, then my encouragement is that you start like a smoothie and fruit fast. First week, pick 2-3 days of the week, buy smoothies before the fast. Pick the days you're going to fast where you know you're not going to be running around and you're going to get tired. Buy smoothies and fruit and eat smoothies and fruit for 2 days or 3 days. You decide each week what you're doing. Right, I'll do 3 days this week. Next week I'll do 2 days. So start off like that. Do the fruit fast for 1 day, and then the next week do a soup fast. 6 AM in the morning till 6 in the evening, don't eat anything, and in the evening eat soup. You can do that as a Holy Communion soup fast, where you have soup and the Holy Communion bread and the Holy Communion drink. I actually done a Holy Communion powerful prayers, prosecuting evil idols from the Courts of Heaven prayer video, which has got 8 prayers of release on that. I'll plug a link for that down below. You can actually do that prayer technique, one of those prayers on your fast. You know, you could do 1 or 2 or 3 of those prayers on your fast of the week. Then the third week, you can just do, you know, 2-3 days, no food, just water, and then maybe in the evening a light dinner. Or you know, a light dinner. You could actually eat something nice one of those weeks, and then the next week perhaps you could do a salad fast. So a salad fast would be you make a big bowl of salad. I've done a video on what I eat as a child of the Most High. It's popping up now. I'll plug a link for that down below. So if you make one of those big salads in the big bowls from that video, that will last you 3 days. Eat that after sundown. If you want to throw fruit in with that, then you can. So a lot of people do Daniel fast, which is 21 days where they eat very light, you know, and the 21 day Daniel fast is they eat nuts, seeds, pulses, fruit, soup, rice dishes, you know, salads, hummus and dips, pita bread, stuff like that. Very like light food that's light on your stomach, not like steaks and chips and burgers and cakes, none of that, and fizzy drinks. No, so there's plenty of ways of fasting. That's why I say if you do the 2 to 3 day fasting method whilst praying in tongues every week, you're going to see it will change your relationship with food, and it will also bring you closer to God, because then you'll start to think, well, actually every week I have 2-3 days a week where I don't eat too much. Or if I do eat, I'm eating fruit all day, or I'm eating salad. I'm eating really well and clean. And you can make sure that prior to that, you're going to stock up. You're going to eat the burgers and the steaks and that before. But you're dedicating 2-3 days a week to praying, to worshipping, to reading the word, to fasting, to seeking God for your breakthrough. Make sure that those 2-3 days that you're doing the fast are days when you're seeking God. You know, you're reading His word, you're reading the books on deliverance and stuff. You're progressing spiritually, and what you do is when you're on that 2-3 day a week fast, you're tearing down the strongholds. You make sure you target the strongholds that you you have. So for me, I was targeting strongholds of lust as well. Those spirits no longer have a hold over. I've slipped up a couple times, stressful days, slipped up a couple times, ended up slipping back into like pornography, but I'm getting stronger in the spirit. But what's building that is the 2-3 day a week fast every week for the past 3 months, 2-3 months, and praying. But you have to make sure that when you're doing this, you're listening to the deliverance prayers for the strongholds you have in your family. Only you know what that is. You know if your family's been involved in the occult, in witchcraft, in New Age, in lust, in perversion, in anger, in strife, in contention. You know whether you've got marine spirits in your family. You've been involved in witchcraft and this stuff. You know whether your family's been involved in stealing, thieving, cheating, lying. You know whether you've got spirits of confusion and depression and heaviness and double-mindedness and schizophrenia and psychosis. So you have to target those strongholds. There's plenty of deliverance ministries online to do that. I've already plugged them on previous videos. I'll plug them up again quickly. Fernando Perez's ministry, great for deliverance prayers. Noah Hines' ministry, I found recently, he's got some great deliverance prayers on there. Agape Kind Media's got some great deliverance prayers on her channel. Brother Carlos has got some great deliverance prayers on his channel. And this ministry that I found recently, he's got some great prayers for like marine spirits of like Dagon and stuff. He goes very deep, like cockatrice spirit, or he's got some real deep like information, intel about the kingdom of darkness. This deliverance minister that I found recently is really good. Check his deliverance ministry out. So throughout those 2-3 days a week of fasting, I'm listening to the deliverance prayers from these online ministries. I'm praying in tongues. I'm worshipping. I'm reading my books about deliverance and healing. I'm drumming the drum. Yeah, and I'm progressing spiritually. The strongholds are being torn down. I'm no longer I'm not having the power of demonic spirits, lust and that having control over me. But if you're not doing this, you're not tearing down the strongholds. To be a Christian, to be a man and woman of God, we have to be not like the world. The world eats 3 meals a day every day. That's not normal. The world says it's normal, but it's not normal. Think when we were living in small villages or mud huts out in the wilderness, how often we would have ate. We would have ate lightly 1 or 2 or 3 days, had a big catch, caught some fish, caught, I don't know, a wild boar or something, a deer, cooked that, had a feast. There's days of feasting, and when you fast like this, you will change your relationship with food, and you'll start to realise, hang on, I feel good from eating salad and fruit for 2-3 days of the week, or not having burgers and steaks. And you'll want to start fasting and eating cleaner, because your body gets a rest from the digestion as well. It's good for your diet, it's good for your health, and it's good for you spiritually. Anyway, people, I'll catch you all in another video soon. I've got some great content coming soon, so stay tuned. See you in another video soon. Peace, love, unity, faith, hope and charity. Rah!